And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in a big edition of TigerBait Live tonight. And as you see in the title, we're going to go into some pros and cons, if you will. Got the idea from Buddy's show earlier today, and we're going to talk about some things to be concerned about, some things to be calm about. And, we're just 17 days away from the LSU's kickoff at Clemson. And again, we're going to be here for a solid hour. Please share the show to your Facebook feed, text it out to your fellow LSU fans, and let them know we'll be taking your questions and comments and talking LSU football for the entire hour. Welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike Scarborough. You know, he got mad at me this week, folks, when I talked about him being GQ, but he always does look good. I look like I just came in from a rainstorm. By the way, on the way over here, the devil beat his wife. You know what the devil beating his wife means? You don't know?
No, go ahead.
That's when it's sunshine, but it's raining. And so I have changed it up a little bit. This is the first time I've wore a visor to the show. We're trying to change the karma. And 17 days away, everybody is asking the $64 million question or questions. Is that offensive line going to protect us and open up a run game? Or are they going to call better plays in the red zone? Is special teams going to be organized or a cluster frick? Are they going to have a running back step up and pass protect like Clyde Edwards-Helaire did for Joe Burrow? And is that LSU defense really going to be the nasty boys, the Bayou Bandits, or just a kick-ass defense that LSU fans have not seen in a long time? All of those, we're getting the positives, negatives, tidbits. And I got to tell you, folks, this is the toughest week of the whole fall camp. They went Monday, they went Tuesday, they went today, and today was hot. They go tomorrow, they go Friday. We do have availability. We will have a practice report for you sometime around 12 o'clock. We do get Coach Kelly right after the practice, another practice report on Friday. And after 5 consecutive days, when their legs are dead and they don't have much juice, they scrimmage. We don't know about availability. Doesn't sound like we're going to get any availability. I don't know if we'll talk with him or whatever.
I just got a little text on that. We will get some next week.
No, but I'm talking about Saturday.
Yeah, but I was thinking that this might be it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get some next week. I don't know if it's
But anyway, Mike, it's very tough because this is when your body gets tired. You're down, low energy, and yet you got a scrimmage. This is the biggest scrimmage of the fall camp. We'll go out there.
Yeah, because you start pulling back for legs next week.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you still have to practice 5 days and do a scrimmage. And it's always been that way. Saban, Miles, Donardo, Archer, wherever you go back, they do this because they beat them down. They see what they can push them to, and then they bring them back up and then start getting the legs back and start getting ready for Clemson. So exciting time. He don't know. I don't know. You don't know. But it's mighty, mighty fun to try and ascertain and think what might happen.
I'm going to load up the Jim Moore clip because we'll just have that ready to go.
Yeah.
You don't know. You never will know.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then playoffs,
yeah.
If BK, and we said this on the show, but they're going to have to do some things differently to win this opening game because it is a true road game. And, Mike, this is his toughest game to start a season that he's had at LSU. The other 3 were neutral sites. But once again, Clemson was 0-3 against SEC teams last year. Clemson got their ass kicked by Georgia, 34-3. Now, that was at Athens, but still, they have not been great in the last couple of openers. So there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad, and we hope that by the time we come to this show, I guess that would be, 2 weeks from today? Man, we will have a better pace, and I would say 70% of the Tiger fans 2 weeks from tonight on this show will be thinking the glass is half full, not half empty.
All right, Fire 3449 says, hit the like button, guys. And he's letting Preston know that he's not an AI robot. That's good. Brad DeVete said, Buddy, I enjoyed your interview with Mike Archer. Also, were you being serious when you said Curly Hallman refuses to do any interviews?
Well, Mike,
I said that today.
You said that
today.
No,
I know multiple media outlets in Louisiana over the years. Jacques does his Jacques Talk. He does many of those. And I know not just him, but others over the years have tried to reach out to Curly, and he won't talk to any local media. I think if you go drop his name in the search box on YouTube, you'll find some Alabama sports talk stations that he'll do a segment with regularly or used to. If you're dying to hear his voice, but no, he won't. But all the other former coaches that are alive, except Hallman and Les Miles, talk to local media. Archer, DiNardo, you get DiNardo here and there. I know Jacques gotten DiNardo for multiple things he's done. So
yeah, thank you, Brad. I enjoyed it. Listen, I do radio a little bit differently. I know a lot of people do 10, 12 segments and then take a break, and do 10, 12 seconds, take a break, 10, 12 minutes, take a break. Look, he was rolling, and we were talking about the old stories, and you know, I'm being an independent contractor. I can do my breaks when I want to, but I thought it was some good stuff, and we did talk some X's and O's, of which we will implement some of those things that he talked about on this show.
Yeah, that if you want to listen to it, it's linked on the front page of TigerBait.com. It's about over 45 minutes. Count the Money says, I need Mike and Struby sponsor ad read to convince me the O-line will be okay at worse. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Wilt, Capital City Grill, carrot cake on Mike if we beat Clemson.
I like that. Who was that?
Wilk says that. It's the best carrot cake in town.
I tell you what. What's W-I-L-T? Wilt?
Wilk.
Wilk.
I tell you what, Wilk, if that happens, I'll let you know when I'm going, and I might be able to arrange that. Hear that at the door?
That's LSU knocking on.
You run the show, buddy. I'm going to let him in and shut the door.
That's LSU knocking on the goal line. Hey, folks, one of the things that I asked Coach Archer about with the and they played Black Death with South Carolina in the bowl game, and they had a coordinator over at South Carolina, Jolie Dunn, that liked to blitz. And he said, we put the max protect in, brought Brian Kinchin from the tight end, made him a fullback, max protected with 7, had 3 wide receivers, and they couldn't stop Wendell Davis, Tony Moss, and the rest of the guys. And, of course, Tommy had a great game. Good to talk to you, buddy. But
that's better than him taking the paint off the door.
Anyway, you're going to see some max protect. One of the things that I've started to talk about a little bit is Josh Williams. We could all talk about Josh Williams, number 18, but he was the best pass protector. Now, he did miss some times, just like every other football player, but somebody's going to have to step up when Nuss is getting that rush, and he's going to get it from time to time, and literally put that body and sacrifice that body to let Nuss have another half a second or whatever. And you talked about it. You were ahead of the curve. You said, look, I think they should bring in a running back in the portal, and that never happened. So we don't know the
everybody's looking at me like I was crazy saying I think they should get a running back in the portal.
Well, but look, Trey Holly, we didn't know what his legal case was going to happen.
I had already written him off.
And you wrote him off. And then JT Lindsey, we have no idea. He's suspended right now. I'm hearing from legal people. In fact, Shark went on the board and said he probably will get off, but I just don't know from a perception standpoint of what was found if they can bring him back. It's just not a good look, Mike.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that.
But they need a running back in this class that can come in and be 200 pounds and pass protect. You got to have one of those.
Yep. Because it's going to be very interesting. What running backs, do they go? You got to go. That's going to be a big one in the portal. You're going to have to have a big running back in the portal. All right, let's hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride Roofing.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There you go. Give them a call, 855-PRIDE-16. And when you call to get that free roof inspection, in fact, I've got one I've got to get set up tomorrow. They're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. That's a $99 value they put in that bill. And again, they've got you covered all throughout South Louisiana, the Baton Rouge area, the North Shore, New Orleans, home of Thibodaux, of course, branches in multiple different cities in South Louisiana, main branch in Hammond. And you're not going to find finer people to deal with. If you've got another company's bid on letterhead, they'll beat it by $150. And like I always tell you, they've got a couple of $1 million of shingles in stock at all times. And it's not builder grade stuff. It's all the stuff that you're going to want for your home. Most average size home in Louisiana, if the weather's nice, they can knock it out in a day. Have the old roof taken down and a new roof put on. That's why you want to do business with Pride Roofing. And again, say TigerBait.
Look, I always add residential, commercial, and metal roofs. We talk about how hot metal roofs are, but I want to talk about today just about the good people they are. You know, folks, if you know about business nowadays, especially in some of the service industry, they got employees that just don't care. You know, they're on the phone, they're smoking a cigarette, they're fighting with their girlfriend on lunch break. You're not going to have to worry about all that. Totally professional, licensed, insured, and bonded. They will get it done. 1-855-PRIDE-16. Going to show up in the pencil. You're going to be happy. We've had a lot of people do business with them. And the great thing about it, PFM and all those people, Don, all those people, they tell people about it because they enjoy the experience. All we ask is an opportunity, not on TV every 5 minutes with some silly-ass roofing commercial, but trust me, 1-855-PRIDE-16. Call them. We've had 2 or 3 people call Mike and I and say, look, got to have the pencil sharpened. We got it done. We want your business. We want you to try them. 1-855-PRIDE-16. As always, tell them Mike and Buddy sent you over.
Chance Babin. Buddy, do you post any of your interviews on YouTube?
We do not at this point, but that may be coming in the future.
All right, let's see. Look at this. Chuck E says LSU 28, Clemson 14. Dakota Chapman said, let's go Tigers. Chance Babin, who do you think starts on the offensive line and defensive line?
Well, you know, I didn't mention this in the report yesterday because I didn't want to get too many people excited. But John Eads, the young John Eads, I'll have him on tomorrow for a little bit after Zach Nagy. So I got 2 young bucks that do a great job.
That's your Gen Z hour.
Exactly. 2 hours. But Zach in the first hour, John in the second hour. But he had a little tweet that Carius Kern actually tried a few snaps at left guard. Now, here's the scenario, folks. In the Saturday practice, was it Saturday these days? I think it was Saturday, 2 consecutive false start penalties. And what did we say?
Carius Kern.
I know. What did they say?
Get him running.
Run. Happened to Weston Davis. So, look. At this point, they're irritable. They're not putting up with anything. There's a sense of urgency. If you jump and have a penalty on the offensive line, you're going to run, you're going to do push-ups, all of that. But Carius Kern the other day, after the 2 the day before, did it again. They had him run. He had his head down. I mean, Brad Davis is chewing on him, but also patting on his back. This is called tough love. This is what you have to do with football. You want to cuss him out, but you also want to say, I love you. I'm there for you. We got to do better. And as I said, short memory. But I think we're sleeping on the fact that Carius Kern, Tyler Miller, and Solomon Thomas are all 3 highly rated freshman offensive linemen. And it's not going to be, those guys aren't going to be ready. Solomon Thomas is going to probably not be ready until late September, early October. Tyler Miller came in, he was hurt in the spring. He's heavy. He's getting down. And then Carius Kern lost the weight, but still not getting him. But everybody's talking about the offensive line and beating up Brad Davis. He's done the recruiting.
Well,
he's done the recruiting. But now you got to see the results on the field.
We put the question on our Facebook page. With 17 days left until football season, is offensive line your biggest concern or something along them lines? Huge reply. Go read all those posts on our Facebook page.
Has to be, without a doubt, the most.
Brad Davis name half. Focusing in on him, he better get it done this year. But boy, Jake Flint's name came up a lot too.
Well, you've been on Brad Davis. I've been on Jake Flint. So I do think they have recruited more physicality. Look, you don't wake up and be Jack Piper.
Yeah, let me tell you, because you know what really came into focus was that second half against A&M last year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now who's at A&M? Who's their strength and conditioning coach?
Tommy Moffitt.
And what happened in that second half?
LSU couldn't stop their backup quarterback.
The trenches got maul dragged by A&M.
Yeah.
Look considerably stronger across the board.
But LSU is considerably different.
Don't want any more of that this season.
Well, I know, but they got a 50% new team this year. So you don't have anybody on the offensive line playing the same position this year that played last year.
Yeah, it's all good. They got the straps with the monitors and the electrodes and all this stuff, and the TheraBands and the hyperbaric chamber. And dude, just pump iron. Get back to the stuff that Gail Hatch taught back in the day. All right. You don't want to have me in November after 3 losses talking about how I'm wondering if they're doing Jane Fonda tapes. All right. Carl Dunn, good evening, Mr. Sunshining Sidekick. Looking forward to high school football season and LSU football. Are you guys ready for football? Says Thels, the LSU monster. And Colin Davis wants to know, do we get over the Brian Kelly 9-win hurdle this year?
I'm going to say that they will definitely win 10 games or more. Hold on.
Don't say the 10th game in the Music City Bowl.
Well, I just said now, I said 10 games this year. If you play on a bowl game before New Year's Day, you could go 9-3 and win a bowl game and be 10-3. So I was hedging on that. Just like I say, I'll guarantee you the effing Tigers are going to win on the night of August 30th.
Why is it that the Oklahoma game bothers me just second only to the Clemson game? I think that game is going to be so dangerous.
I have no idea what anybody will look like.
If Nussmeier stays healthy the whole year, I just know that Oklahoma game is going to be the difference between LSU being in the playoffs or not. That's my hunch. And they play well at home. They're going to be a much improved team. I'm seeing national people already picking Oklahoma to win that game when they go break down LSU's schedule. And regardless of what, first of all, Oklahoma's going to have a better record for sure. And either way, that game is the last regular season game, and they have the opportunity to not only make up for that embarrassing performance they had in Tiger Stadium, but they get to be a spoiler.
Yeah, well, look.
Some people think that Oklahoma could be a playoff team maybe at the end of the year.
Playoffs?
You know, are they one of those middle of the pack teams that you know you're flipping coins that could make their way into the upper quarter of the league?
Yeah, and some people are saying that Brent Venables is fighting for his job this year.
That too.
So John Mateer is the quarterback from Washington State. I don't use Venmo. I use Zelle on the Cash App. But he was found to have had some language and paying off a kid, and he wrote on the little side thing, gambling purposes. Well, now he comes out and said that was an inside joke. We just messing around or whatever. I don't think anything's going to come to it. But I don't know how in the hell anybody can get to the last game of the regular season and say this team is going to win, this team's going to win, when we hadn't seen even the first game yet. So I'm more focused on August 30th, and let's go week to week. There's 12 regular season chapters. Hopefully you got 3 more chapters, and then you get into the playoffs. But to me, LSU, Oklahoma, that's way off on my priority
You're about 12, 13 days away from giving a record, though.
You
said you're going to give
I am.
I'm giving you mine, 9-3.
Go ahead and say it. 9-3 is what you will see.
I'm at 9-3. But if they beat Clemson,
we got a caveat here.
They beat Clemson. I'm coming in here that night and saying 11-1.
Okay.
All right. How about Gooden? Todd Davis says, how about Gooden? Wow. Yeah, I was.
You wanted the interview.
I was asking Michael Bonnet to get him for that interview that we got yesterday, and we were there. I wasn't there, but I had my girl Gia asked the question, and yeah.
I think he weighs more.
He's fun.
I think he weighs more than they listed. They listed him originally like 268, 270. He looks 275, 280 for me. The bottom line is he's still 30 pounds.
Who do you think? Who would you compare him to?
Oh man, He said he said he looks up to Aaron Donald, who, of course, as we know with the Rams, is going to go in first year. He's eligible for the Hall of Fame.
I think as far as former LSU defensive
Suggs.
lineman in the last 15 years, mine is God dang it, Benny Logan.
Benny Logan.
Benny Logan is my comparison, but Benny Logan before he really got big.
I was going to say Benny Logan got bigger.
Yeah.
And by the way, folks,
early Benny Logan at LSU.
And let him rest in peace. You know who was all over the Benny Logan's scoop? Diggs.
Yeah.
Remember? So Diggs, if you're up in heaven, we're giving you a shout out, baby.
Yep. All right,
But I think Benny Logan got to 300, Mike.
Yeah, then this is the other part of it, and Andy Whitaker asked the question.
His was? All right.
He says, I want each of your opinions on this. Do you think the defensive line is just that good, or is the O-line not good? I think when all of us in the media, and we get the replies when we're talking about how the run game's getting stuffed and the O-line looks to have issues, you want to go to the rationale that the defensive line is going to be that much good. I think there is some part of that. I think this is truly the best defensive line that BK's had. You know, and if that's the case, then we might be talking about Kyle Williams, whatever the award is for best defensive line coach at the end of the year, or if there's a newcomer award for new assistant, then he'll be in that mix. I would love for us to be talking about, boy, what a job Kyle Williams has done early on. But like you and I were talking about earlier today, man, we keep talking about Clemson. You forget that you got Louisiana Tech and then Florida. Look at a lot of people putting Florida in the top 10.
I've always said this. I still believe this. You don't ever know how good you are until you play somebody else. Look, Josh Thompson and Bernard Gooden know each other. DJ Chester and Dominic McKinley know each other. Jack Pyburn and Tyree Adams and Weston Davis know each other. What I'm saying is that after a couple of weeks of combat, full scrimmaging, full pads, you know each other. You know. Now, Blake Baker's been moving people around, and that's what they had a problem with. But we're not going to know the extent of the offensive line and the defensive line until the first night, and I don't think the offensive line has a chance to even gel until probably game 3 or 4. So you got to do what you have to do to win the first game. No disrespect to Louisiana Tech, but LSU should line up with all their skilled people and be able to win that game handily. And then another, like Archer said, look, even if you beat Clemson, you can't stub your toe, and so it's a crapshoot. But it's exciting to see. We see these people, and, you know, somebody was questioning, well, how can you guys say this or that? We can't. This is opinion. But I'm going to add this little tidbit that we said on the radio show today. BK has let us do something that we've never had coaches do. We have had already 2 practices where we filmed three periods and stayed the rest of the periods. 2 hours and 5 minutes. I look like I was like Paul Escott said, I look like I had a 5-gallon bottle of water dumped on me Saturday when we did the report. I was hurting. That was 2 hours and 5 minutes out there. Then we got on the concrete to do the report. But you're not going to know how good LSU is, really, the first game. And then week 3, you got to line up and do it again. And then, of course, at week 5, you're playing at Ole Miss. And so there's a lot of tough games on this schedule on paper.
Ivan Salazar, hardly anyone seems to remember the last time LSU played Clemson. The Bayou Bing is one that none of us, if anybody's on social media at any part of the day, you're not reminded of 2019 on a daily basis. There's always something in your Facebook feed. No one's forgetting 2019.
But the big
that has no bearing on this game either.
Well, but the big difference is that you're playing a national championship game in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Now you got to flip the deal. And you're playing it.
And by the way, Clemson was very well represented in that dome.
It
wasn't like 70-30. It was true
60-40.
It might have been 55-45, but I'll give you 60-40.
All I can tell you is that if you lose in a national championship game in New Orleans, then that's going to be another strike against you.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. I need to talk about Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs might be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse you need built, expanding your existing commercial building, changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, or disc receptacle, upgrading old lighting in your home or office, they can wire that. They're building out Preston's new studio right now and doing the work on that. Give them a call today, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. And please let them know that Tiger Bait sent you in. And, of course, Struby's, a big part of our show, now going on year 2, and truly one of your best steak and seafood restaurants in the state of Louisiana. 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. It's a 5-star dining experience, reasonable prices, locally owned, all fresh ingredients, USDA prime black Angus, 100% certified Wagyu New York strip. And, of course, they've got a great seafood menu, the seafood, lobster, pasta, redfish, duck Louisiana, and much more. And the dry-aged pork chop is also, that one's Buddy's favorite. Book your reservation online tonight at strubys.com, and please let them know Tiger Bait sent you in. And like I always tell you, get the crawfish mac and cheese as one of your sides and the lamb lollipops as an appetizer.
By the way, I was just checking, making sure that we give you the legitimate stats. Coach Brian Kelly has defeated one team in the top 5 at LSU. Beat Ole Miss a couple of years ago when they were ranked number 5, 45-24. That was that incredible second half, I think. That was his first year. Has not beat a top 5 team at LSU on the road. Notre Dame fans hate it, but he did defeat 4 teams at Notre Dame that were in the top 5 on the road. I don't have the stuff in front of me. I could pull it up. But and so, look, this is going to be the biggest game of BK's career at LSU. As Mike alluded to, he said if you lose the opener and then lose to Florida in week 3, everybody's going to go crazy, but then you'd have to win out. And so if you win that football game, you still got to go 1-0 every week and go week to week. But I just have a feeling that crystal ball, I even did it the other day at practice. I keep giving, hey, if I make this green light, LSU beats Clemson. Here comes the green light. Said it the other day. Now, they were looking like crap. You remember this. They were looking like crap. And I said, if this is a touchdown, and I'm just having fun with the media people, because we got to teach these young people, you do a job, but you also have fun. I said, if they score a touchdown on this play, and they had been stopped about 5 plays in a row, they're going to beat Clemson. And let me tell you something, folks. If you saw the catch Xavier Thomas made.
Which is a hard catch for him in the back of the end zone and all that traffic.
And everybody was going, ooh. But something tells me they are going to find a way to win this football game. And the reason is not offense, not special teams, but defense. I think that's the one thing that the fans are going to be the most surprised about, because this defense, I think, is appreciably better. We hadn't even talking about Whit Weeks and Perkins on the field at the same time. We hadn't talked about 3 transfer portals that are going to start in the secondary in Monsieur Delane, Tamarcus Cooley, and A.J. Halsey. We haven't even talking about Bernard Gooden, Jack Pyburn, Patrick Payton, Jamari Butler, all those guys coming in. So they spent the money. Ohio State spent the money last year, won a natty. Ole Miss spent the money last year and choked, losing to Kentucky at home and giving LSU the victory here. So now there's even more pressure on BK because, Mike, there's no excuse. They've got the players. Now it's up to the coaches to put those players in the right position and call the right plays. And you better damn well realize when they get inside the 20, inside the 10, and inside the 5, they better call the right plays.
Music says we got a Les Miles level defense with a Brian Kelly level offense. This year will be special. I think they got a real chance to be special. I believe that.
Don't you agree, though, the defense is going to be night and day from what it's been?
Yeah, and I think I'll be shocked if they're not it's hard to say upper third, but they're going to be in the upper portion of the SEC in takeaways.
Okay. Well, they only had 14 of them last year. You know, I'm hammering only 6 INTs and 8 fumbled recoveries.
Sometimes it's I don't know if there's any science to it. Sometimes you have them and you don't.
But all the championship teams, all the great championship teams, I keep track of this stuff. 1 year LSU won the Natty, was fantastic, plus 20 on the turnover ratio. So if they turned it over 10, that means they got 30 takeaways, plus 20. Last year, they were -3. Got to be positive in the turnover ratio.
Absolutely.
Starting on August 30th, by the way.
Norman Brignac, hello, buddy and Mike. I just got the premier TigerBait. Were you saying premium TigerBait? If you did, thanks so much. Glad to have you. Dr. John Sibley Butler, Tigers have talent this year. Yes, they do. But it's also one of those deals like the title of the show. Now you don't have JT Lindsay.
He wasn't going to play.
Look, no, it doesn't matter if he's going to play or not. We've had seasons before where you've had 2 running backs get hurt and not be available. It's been a while, but it happens. What happened? If that happens, then what? Even just one, you've got to have someone that you weren't expecting to see play have to play. And it's going to be Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson's going to have to play some running back this year. Yeah, he is. And, oh, by the way, LSU got a pretty damn good running back by the name of Malachi Lane. Now, he's a walk-on. Where's number 30? He's number 5 on the depth chart. But I think you make a great point. When I started breaking it down and looking at tape and thinking, man, they got to have somebody that's going to come in there and protect us from the running back spot. I think Bauer Sharp's going to be on the field almost every play. If Trey Dez is on the line of scrimmage, Bauer Sharp's going to be 1 yard off the line of scrimmage where he can chip that defensive end. You and I talked about this play. You chip, he comes in, you dump it off, and there he is in space. A 250-pound man that can run that might have to be tackled by a 200 or 190-pound DB. There's a lot of ways back to play calling and Joe Sloan and BK. We've seen the dinks and dunks. We've seen the middle screens. We've seen the bubbles. We've seen the screen passes. But if Caden Durham gets hurt, then I think that, my record would certainly be another game or 2 down.
Yeah, look, they're going to get out of it. They've got, 2 more scrimmages or 1?
This Saturday is the big scrimmage, and then the following Saturday is thud, which means they do not go to the ground.
This Saturday, I'm telling you, man, if they knock on wood, you want rosary beads for Caden Durham and Garrett Nussmeier, all right?
And Braylon Moore, too, now. You can't afford to lose Braylon Moore. He's because you don't want to go back to DJ Chester
all of a sudden,
at center.
I'm nervous about an injury at running back. And it's like you said, I wasn't expecting anything from JT Lindsay, but that is a heck of an insurance policy that you don't have anymore.
But Mike, he was just starting to get a feel. He didn't come here in the spring, and so he had a long way to go to play. They were probably going to redshirt him, and we do not know his future. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. You are proven innocent until.
But now you got a guy who you're having red zone packages for, also cross training at running back.
Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like the way he runs. Although I will tell you this, in case you don't know it, BK got a little spicy with Joe Sloan because they're trying some fancy stuff with the Wild Tiger, and it has not been working. Mike talked about Xavier Thomas.
I don't like that. I don't like seeing end arounds. To me, that's a sign that you're not confident in your running game.
None of us have coached a game, but I do watch a lot of stuff. Have they gone back to Mason Taylor on the 2-point play? You remember that play?
Mm-hmm.
Have they gone back to that? No. Trey Des Green and Bauer Sharp on that little thing. Throw the ball to those guys. You don't have to worry about running it. A short little dink and dunk is just as good as a run.
I'm just asking you this. It's 3rd and 2 in the third quarter, and you really need a first down. The momentum's not your way. 3rd and 2. Are you running it or you're throwing it?
Or give me some down and distance.
Just 3rd and 2.
Where we at in the football field? Possession, 50-yard line.
3rd and 2 on your own 45.
On 45.
I'm not confident. I'm throwing it. I'm throwing it to Bauer Sharp.
No. I'm throwing to
I'm not handing it off.
I agree.
I don't have that confidence yet.
I agree with that. But once again, Caden Durham, that's another tidbit I wanted to give you. I don't think people remember how good a receiver he is. Folks, just put the tape in on South Carolina. Caden Durham basically won that game by himself. Now, we see Frank out there. And remember,
by the way, it's not a reflection of Caden Durham. It's all offensive line.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, he made some incredible runs.
Yeah.
You don't have to give him a lot of space.
Yeah, because to me, he's an all SEC running back.
Yeah. So
whether he is or not is on the offensive line.
Harlan Berry is getting acclimated, but as BK said the last time we talked to him, he is also getting acclimated to the speed, the size, and the ferocity of tackling that you have at this level. He didn't see that in his high school career. And then, of course, Juwan Johnson, I like him running the football. I like him getting the dink and dunk. I don't think he's a possible quarterback. But if you do have him in that Wild Tiger, I agree with Blake on this. Play action and let him throw, because if not, they're going to be sending the kitchen sink. And as we've seen, they've had trouble with shotgun snaps. And the other day, in case you missed it, Caleb Jackson, bad snap, fumbled hand up. He didn't pick it up. Monsieur Delane picks it up, scoop and score. Jack Pyburn had a scoop and score. So the last thing you want to hear during real game day, not out at the Ponderosa, is a scoop and score.
Yep.
Can't have that.
Bayou Bingo, buddy, you pick LSU win the season opener every year. Purple and gold glasses. I don't think you're doing. Are you picking them to win week 1? Or are you going to let us know that week?
Well, who's that?
Bayou Bengal.
You're exactly right, Bayou Bengal. I have said, unfortunately, for the last couple of years, I envision
But
LSU.
I think I have too.
Huh?
I think I've picked them to
Well,
win.
I'm just saying, I'm admitting he's right. He's right. I had them going 5-0 at start the season.
I think I picked LSU in every opener.
I have a crystal ball. It came from up above. It's purple and gold. And I just keep seeing it. A field goal is curving and curving and curving and right through the goalpost. LSU's going to win by 3.
By the way, this is legit. I had a dream a couple of nights ago. At the end of the game, it was Ramos.
Damian Ramos. Yeah. LSU wins 27-24, 33-30. So, but Bayou.
And I usually don't remember anything but I woke up and they were lining up Ramos. Swear to God.
But look, I give him
one of my many times I wake up in the middle of the night.
And I will disagree because these are not purple and gold glasses. Okay. Now, I wear these glasses when we talk about the offensive line. I wear these glasses after a loss. But I also am going to tell you that I like to give people an objective feel. But what do we always say, Mike? When they win, you get cologne and flowers and perfume. And when they lose, you get clothespins, because everybody in Baton Rouge and this state knows we don't have a high IQ, but the state of Louisiana has the high FQ. That's football quotient. And so Bayou.
Travis said in 23, I said they'd lose to Florida. I don't believe that's true.
They'd lose to who?
Florida State. He said in 23. I don't believe that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe I'm wrong. I'll go back and I'll go pull it up.
Yeah.
Look at Trucking with Casper coming in. It's been a long time.
Casper, there we go, folks.
With a super chat. It's almost time. Let's go Tigers. I'm back, baby.
Oh, man.
Glad to have you back, Casper.
Casper, you made my night. I didn't want to say anything. We hadn't heard from him.
I know, man. I was getting worried.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Park. All right. SL Lander Pop, I think they will throw it if they have to, but that's always there. They need to practice running. I have faith in Caden, though. He will be huge if he's healthy. And he's tough, man. That playing with that broke toe last year, man, he's just a great running back. And Hakeem Batiste says Sloan has an embarrassment of riches on the offense. Xavion Thomas and Juwan Johnson can be lethal on goal line situations with their versatility. Absolutely. And again, Trucking with Casper, thank you for that.
Thank you, Casper. Good to have you back, man.
All right, let's see here. Here it is. You see it on the screen. Genesis of Lafayette, 2025 Genesis GV80, 2.99 APR for 60 months or 3.99 for 72 months. It has to be all in stock and is financed with Genesis Motor Finance. You cannot beat that deal. Low APRs, on one of the finest luxury SUVs, you need to get over to Genesis of Lafayette, take a test drive. Of course, right there at 6600 Johnson Street. And they're the premier luxury dealership. They offer the finest cars and SUVs in the region, coupled with best service anywhere. Genesis of Lafayette has a huge inventory of new and certified pre-owned Genesis vehicles. And again, tell them TigerBait sent you in. Proud to have Genesis back on board with us for another year. And they've gotten lots of LSU fans that watch this show that have gone over from different parts of Louisiana and East Texas that have bought their Genesis vehicles from there. They'll go the extra mile. There's a particular color, a color interior, an option you're looking for. You guys know it. I know it. It's why we ended up buying from Genesis of Lafayette. And that's the fact that, a lot of dealers want to sell you what they have on the lot, and they don't want to bend over backwards and do a search and send a truck to go pick up the vehicle you want 3 states over. They do it at Genesis of Lafayette. And that's why they sell more Genesis vehicles than any other dealer, Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana.
And your better half loves that Genesis almost as much as she loves you.
Yeah, there you go. Brad David, Mike, if LSU goes 9-3 with this team, it's going to get worse in 26. Look, they did an amazing – Austin Thomas, Frank Wilson, BK, everybody in that building did a fantastic job building this roster. Went big in the portal. What was available to them, of course, what's made available. Look, you know how it works these days with NIL. But they have built a roster and filled a lot of holes, have given Blake Baker a lot more to work with than he had to work with in his first year. But this team with a Heisman Trophy candidate, legit, in Garrett Nussmeier and everything else is coming back. This is an opportunity this year to make a go at it. And if you don't make the playoffs, you're really, if you look at what's going to be lost off this roster, you're going to have another December. What's Alexa's term? December to remember. They're going to have a December to remember again, like last year, as far as building that roster back up in order to make another run at it. And like I said, I don't think that the starting quarterback for 26 is currently on the roster. You're going to have to get one of those and fill a lot of other holes. When you start looking at who's only got 1 year of eligibility left, this is the year where you'd like to make a run at it.
Yeah,
that's what they built it for.
It's scary. Nuss will be gone, but just on defense, Pybert will be gone. Patrick Payton will be gone. Probably Whit Weeks will be gone. Harold Perkins will be gone. Monsieur Delane will be gone. AJ Halsey will be gone. So let's not even get into 26 right now.
You don't know.
No, you don't. Nobody knows.
All right.
And I don't know why you guys like to get to the end. I enjoy a book. I read the first chapter, and I don't go to chapter 12. I don't go to chapter 14.
When you chart the Brian Kelly era, this is important this year.
Absolutely. We said it. This is the most important game he's had at LSU. And, one of the other little tidbits I want to add here, and I've had people mention this to me, and I was talking to Coach Archer about this yesterday. The personality. You ever see BK on the sidelines? He starts arguing with the referee. His face gets red. He feels like he's getting screwed on a call. He's chewing on Joe Sloan.
He's like that right now.
Well, but my point is this. I asked Coach Archer, do you feel like players feed off of you? Let's just take Nick Saban. He came over here, and every son of a gun in town wanted to emulate him, from the jackets to the shirts to everything. But I'm hoping that BK, and he has a different attitude. We asked him at the start of fall camp, I asked him specifically, what's the pulse of this team? He said, I'm buying it. I like it. We've been doing this for 7 months. But if he goes out there and starts freaking and starts chewing, and that face gets red, and you can tell I want to see a confident, calm, relaxed. And there's a fine line between confidence and cockiness. Joe Burrow was cocky. Everybody will say, I'll let my player be cocky as long as you can back it up. These guys are going to talk. I'm expecting to see a different BK on the night of August 30th, and you guys will be talking about that on the post-game show if the same old shit happens. SOS, what we're talking about. And that is, if your coach exudes confidence in you as a player, you as a play caller, you as a coordinator, you as a special teams, it gives everybody confidence. I'm hoping they go out there with a quiet confidence. And my latest T-shirt is don't say it, just do it. People are tired of hearing him saying it. They want him to do it.
Try to get what Casper says. Nice to see y'all. Very nice jump in subscribers. Proud of y'all. We hit 39,000 Monday. Thank y'all for that. I think we'll hit I think we're going to hit 40. In fact, Rick Cloetti says that Mike and Buddy, we need you to get to 40,000. You're close. We are.
That's all on Mike.
I think we'll hit that.
Give Mike a lot of credit.
I think we'll hit that week or two in September.
And look,
but y'all, if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button.
But you've worked very, very hard to build this business up, and all tribute to Mike. Of course, he's got a lot of people, got a lot of sidekicks, and everybody plays a part. But kudos to the job you do, and I just can't wait to see if they're going to break this streak and win that first football game. But I'm going to make a promise to you right now: if they win that football game, I'm going to stay up and watch every word that you and Preston say. Now, if they lose and get hammered, then I'm probably going to turn it out.
If they lose, and Preston tries to cut into me on the first 3 minutes with the diatribe I'm likely to go on. Well, no, let me take that back. Let me take that back. Clemson is supposed to win this football game, okay? But if it's not
close.
Yeah, if it's not close and it's not a good representation,
you're going to have 5 minutes of
or you have a feeling you're going to have a presser at the end of it where BK's hitting his fist on the table, or he's coming in on the Monday to say this is not who I thought this team was. Then yeah.
And I don't think he's going to say all of that, because he knows he is appreciably better, but he's got a couple things you got to clean up in the next 10 days. If he does that, then you start finding.
If it's an ugly loss, I'm putting Preston on mute for about 3 or 4 minutes.
But hey, here's the key time period, folks. Today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Knock on wood. If they get through those 4 days without serious injuries, I like the karma heading into the final 2 weeks.
This team, everybody likes to do, every media outlet seems to do a version of it. It's talking season. And I will say, I admit that now that we're on August 13th, this gets to be about the time where people are getting sick of talking. You wish football season was a week earlier than it is. I can say 9-3 all I want, but I do think this team is capable of being a national championship team.
And as you were saying that, my brain just
this can be a special year.
I will tell you this, and this is a cop-out. I know a lot of the young guys have wanted this all along, but if they lose this football game to Clemson, Verge and BK ought to move one of those cupcakes early in the season in 26 and have a game in week 0, because you're supposed to play Clemson back here. I said supposed to, because if the SEC does make a change and goes to 9 conference games in 26, then that could tweak the schedule a little bit. But what
was your preseason prediction in 2019? Was anybody even at 11-1 or 10-2?
I don't know, but man, we saw him at practice. And Joe said it at the Manning Passing Academy, but we were
and everybody was snickering at him.
Well, I know, but he knew, and we saw a little bit with the practice. But with Coach O, come on. All those parts. Brady and.
But when people talk about the ceiling, and I think the ceiling is 11-1.
You know what LSU was predicted preseason poll in the AP on 19? I looked it up this week.
What?
6.
Okay.
So the year Jaden Daniels is coming back,
and this team 9. So
they were 5 a couple of years ago with Jaden Daniels coming back. So they didn't have a defense.
Now you don't have Jamar Chase and Jordan Jefferson, but boy, you still got some great wide receivers here. And I think Chris Hilton, if he stays healthy, is going to be every bit of that type of first-round draft pick.
Now, that's the guy who's got a lot of problems.
I think he's the next in the long line of those guys coming out of LSU.
But Cortez Hankton,
If he picks up where he left off,
is the guy that's got pressure. There is so much talent at wide receiver. If you have to go max protect, that means you're going to have 7 blocking, you're going to have Nuss, and then you're going to have 3 wideouts, and you're going to spread it out. But if you go 5 wideouts and only have one back there guy protecting, how do you determine if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 17? Jelani Watkins, he's been getting more reps. Talking about Louisiana player, Teron Francis, the next great one. But I agree with you. Chris Hilton, with this year, over 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns, he could be the next guy that everybody's talking about. And, of course, Malik Neighbors has followed up along with Brian Thomas Jr. Those two have followed up with Jamar Chase and obviously Justin Jefferson.
Chucky, Mike, I had my doubts about the season until I watched the interviews you posted yesterday. With no injuries, LSU goes 11-1. Book it.
Who's that?
Chuck E.
Chucky.
Yeah, Dane Bergeron comes in with a super chat. I have Dr. Daniels on call for the Clemson game. And Trucking with Cashmer says, Nuss ends the year as the Heisman winner, yes or no? I think it's possible for him. I'm not going to say probable. I'm going to go possible.
I think the easiest thing is that we hope he's in New York. If he's in New York, he's one of the top 4.
Yeah.
And for that to happen, they've got to protect him. He's got to throw 4,000 yards. He's got to lead LSU to the playoffs. And he's got to eliminate the WTFINT. What the frick were you thinking? He's even said it. He had a couple of those against Texas A&M. You mentioned it. He had a couple fumbles. He's got to have a little bit better ball security, but he's got to be very happy, Mike, with this plethora of receivers. I've never seen it with this many, and it's all because of the portal.
Tari Love might predict LSU to lose the opener to FSU in 23. You doubted the DBs. I guess so.
Oh, that was a year where we told everybody that they couldn't cover anybody, and they could.
Yeah. Thank you. I like being corrected. But I think I picked LSU every other year.
Well, I know I picked him. I know I picked him in New Orleans, and that was the cluster frick with special teams. They couldn't even line up for a PAT or a field goal. So
Dr. Butler says, congrats, Mike, on hitting that 39,000. Thank you, Dr. Butler. Fire 3449. Mike, is there anyone in the country that can cover Trey'Dez Green? You can blanket him, but you're going to leave somebody else open. I mean, that's just a huge target. If your ball's where it's supposed to be, I don't know how you do it. Like Blake Baker said the other day when he was asked about it. What's that? Did I do it again?
Listen, it's funny that we had so much play off of the balls thing. And I'll just tell you a little story.
I'm going to keep rolling it.
I'll just tell you a little story. I'm thinking about doing it to BK, but it's different time and era. But when I gave Saban that sleeve of golf balls and said, look, me and the sponsor want you to have some balls. And, of course, he bowled up, and we went back and forth for about 7 minutes. And they ended up, and, of course, I told him, I'm fat and don't like to admit it, and you're conservative on offense, and you don't like to admit it. And so we went back, and Bonnet's trying to – and so he ended up passing for 528, Rohan Davey to Josh Reed, 19 catches for about 280 yards.
I was at that game.
35-21. And lo and behold, I'm just going to come out and say it. I want Joe Sloan. I want Blake Baker. I want AA to special teams coach. And I want BK to play to win, not to play, not to lose. And if you want to say, I want to see them have some balls, then I agree with that.
He's going to show you when he wins the toss and takes it on offense.
Oh, man. If he wins the toss with his defense now and does not defer,
I'm telling you.
I'm going to text you and say, you got me again.
What do y'all
Come
think?
on, Parker.
If he wins the toss, we've posed it before. If BK wins the toss, is he taking the ball or deferring? All right, Dr. Butler with a super chat. Thank you, Dr. Butler. He says, just a reminder, the Tigers beat Clemson for the national championship. in 1958. And no, I was not there. You were there.
No, I was not there.
Buddy was selling Cokes.
I was not. I was not there. But when LSU did beat Clemson that year, that is when LSU shortly started to call Tiger Stadium Death Valley. They did it about 10 years earlier. Even Dabo said that when, BK called him Death Valley Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And Dabo said, look it up. It's on Google. We've been Death Valley more. All of that is irrelevant. I think it's going to be a rabid crowd.
Where do they put the fans there, opponents?
They
put them in the upper deck?
Bob Bucher seats.
Do they?
Yeah. 5,500 of the 6,000 tickets are in the upper deck. 500 lower bowl. If Scott Woodward doesn't do the same thing to Clemson next year, I'll be very disappointed.
You guys put it in the chat. If you're trying to get some on third party StubHub, what is the going rate for good seats? And I bet you the tickets for that game are going to be astronomical. Are they hitting 1,000? Are they over 1,000?
I don't know.
I bet it's big.
I just know this. If Clemson wins the toss, they're going to defer, so LSU will get the football anyway. But if LSU wins the toss, I would hope this year with an appreciably better defense that he would defer. But
all right,
you think he's going to take the football?
Yeah. Bay's Oyster Bar. Check it out, everybody. You got to get over there. Just absolutely fantastic food. 315 North Boulevard, the old Jolie Pearl. Freshest farm-raised oysters from Grand Isle. No mud, no grit. Just clean, delicious flavor. If you're not into oysters, you can get the boiled shrimp. The turkey brie and bacon sandwich is out of this world. And a classic roast beef po' boy. It's unreal how much beef that they put on that po' boy. And the bread is unreal that they use for those sandwiches and the po' boys. Got a fully stocked bar complete with top-notch bourbon, whiskey, and a massive craft beer selection. So don't miss out on Baton Rouge's newest oyster spot, and make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. And what more can we say about Alumni Hall, folks? It's they've got everything you need over there. The best looking polo shirts and whatnot. They've got all your national championship gear, all the latest and greatest that's coming your way throughout the year. And again, they've got all the stuff that you want. There it is on the screen here. I went through about 5 or 6 of them, and I finally got it right. But they've got all the best polos, the stuff that you're going to see the coaches wearing on the sideline. Beautiful store in Perkins Row. TigerBait is the code. Use code TigerBait, and you're going to get 10% off. If that's in person at the register, say TigerBait, and they're going to put it in the computer, and you're going to get 10% off every time you go in there and buy something. Or you can put it in the promo code box if you're checking out online. And again, like I always tell you, everything's in stock in Baton Rouge. It's shipping from Baton Rouge. So you're not going to be waiting a week to 10 days. If some national outfit is shipping at USPS, you're going to get it quickly because it's shipping from Baton Rouge. So again, the 2 for $38 shirts, the Hall Pass rewards. And again, tell them TigerBait when you head in over at Alumni Hall. All right, let's see what else we got here. I got a few more comments we need to get to. He should defer, but he'll take the ball, says Travis Wilburn. Yes, Devin Johnson says $700 is the going rate for a good seat on stuff for a third party. I bet you it goes over 1,000 as it gets here.
Look, everybody loves going on the road. As we said, the man, the spicy tidbit of the night, BK has not defeated a top 5 opponent. Clemson is now 4 in the latest AP. LSU went to 9. Bring your Manda, grill up your sausage, your Buddha, all of those great products. I have no idea about tailgating. I have no idea if they're, like when you go to Auburn and some of the other places, it's
have you had Mickey on yet?
I have not had Mickey on. We're supposed to have him on, but I'm having him on next week. But we'll give you all the latest. But the things that we're concentrating on here that we will tell you about Friday after practice and then going into next week is what's that offensive line going to look like? Have there been any injuries that popped up while we have not been out there? What are you going to do on your go-to guy? 3rd and 2. You just said it. Remember the days of Jarvis Landry and Wendell Davis, and you got to have a go-to guy. You think it's going to be Bauer Sharp. I think it's going to be Trey Des Green. It could be Caden Durham. It could be Chris Hilton. You got to get all of that going in here. But I do think this little tidbit, this is going to be the best LSU defense you've seen in 6 years. Now, the 2019 defense, when they got everybody back healthy, they pinned their ears back and went after that big, tall quarterback from Clemson who had that long hair. And, of course, invariably, Joe and the guys were the second team in college history to go 15-0. You know who the first one was? Clemson in 2018, the year before. Dabo said it a week or two ago. They were the first team to go 15-0. LSU was the first team to go 15-0 in the SEC. They want to be the first team to go 16-0. And, of course, if that's the case, they've got to beat LSU in the opening game. Point spread went up to 4.5 when they had the rumors with Nuss, back down to 3.5. It's probably going to be 3.5 or 4, whatever it is. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we're all waiting with bated breath to see what this new version. I'm going to be excited, and I can't wait to see the post-game show because, as I said, if they win, I will stay up and watch. But if they lay an egg, I just know that there are going to be some upset Tiger fans that are going to Pontius Pilate and wash their hands of BK, whether that's fair or not. You know how fans are.
Well, that's the issue. If you lose the game, and whether it's 2 touchdowns or a field goal at the end that you lose by, it's going to take so many weeks to build back to where people start thinking, okay, this team has a chance. At what point can you get that sour taste out of your mouth? You better get it out. The team better get it out quick because you got Florida in week 3. But to where people are thinking this team can be a playoff team.
Right. It stops all the momentum that has been built up from the portal.
Yeah.
So
Travis Wilburn says lower bowl are 550 to 700 on game time.
Yeah. I just know hotels are raping people over there. You shouldn't be staying in Clemson. You can stay 20 or 30 miles away. I've got a lot of people already going, and we'll have updates. And, of course, our big next update will be Friday after we see practice and see BK after about 11:30. So Mike will post that. We'll do the practice report. Saturday scrimmage, we don't know to what extent, how many plays, what they're going to work on. Obviously, they started to work on things. You got to work on every little detail. And so far, they've got a long way to go. Short yardage is a work in progress. Red zone, a work in progress. 2-minute drill, work in progress. Mike picked this tidbit up the other day. Great touchdown to Barry Brown. Oh, by the way, Clemson, if you kick the football off to Barry Brown, he's going to torch you. You know what he did the last time he played Clemson? 3 touchdowns in that game. Their fan base is scared of Barry Brown.
That's a great interview, too, Barry and Brown, if you didn't see it. Him and Bernard good, and Ashton Stamps was good. A lot of great interviews yesterday.
And Trey Des Green, too.
Yep. All good interviews. All right. One more I got to talk about, particularly those that are getting your plans for the upcoming football season, and you see it there. Boy, that's a good one. But I like this one with the chicken and waffles. Yeah. Capital City Grill. If you're coming in from out of town, you got a hotel booked, especially if you're downtown, stop at Capital City Grill for brunch the next day before you head out of town. Got a fantastic brunch menu. And, of course, you already know them for their great lunches and dinners downtown Baton Rouge. Again, at 100 Lafayette Street, burgers, pasta, the seafood pasta, French dip sandwich, po' boys. They've got it all for you. Best carrot cake in town. But again, the brunch from 11 to 2 on Sundays. Make your plans to be there on game weekends. You'll probably run into me a good bit. I think it's the best brunch in Baton Rouge and a super deal.
Outdoor seating along with a great bar. I love the club sandwich, always consistent. Great sponsors on the show. And you and Preston did a great job of bringing in people that we believe in, we go to, and we certainly can talk about because they deliver. They're very consistent. And, of course, the big thing, they care.
Absolutely. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, just hope everybody is doing well. Stay hydrated. Man, I felt the heat today. I don't know what got me more hot today, the weather or the traffic. And so for all of those getting ready to get your SEC schedule, Feinbaum's got the Archman and winning the Heisman in Texas. Texas came in #1 in the AP poll for the first time ever. I just pulled up the records against top 10 teams. Steve Sarkisian does not have a good record. Brian Kelly doesn't have a good record. James Franklin doesn't have a good record.
I can't believe how much I pull for Ohio State these recent years.
And as good as Dr. Butler's been to you, I can't believe you're still having that.
I think I'm the only he's the only one that there's not many Texas fans I like, but I certainly but he's 2/3 LSU, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
He's
LSU through and through as well.
But
it's getting close. We played the music today. Don't worry, be happy. And when you see that football curve inside the right upright for LSU to win by 3, remember Mike Scarborough told you first.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. No access to practice tomorrow. We're back out there Friday. Nothing on the weekend, right? And then we'll be back out there, I'm assuming, a few days next week, and that'll probably be the end of it as they start working to get their legs back, and it'll be all Clemson prep. And but we'll bring everything to you right here on TigerBait.com. Y'all have a good night.